Okay, to those of you who are joining us for the first time, it's your show, In Your Vicinity with JEDI. And of course, you know you can always go back to the previous episodes and follow this story. We're still in Dallas, Texas, and this guest, an inspiration, a voice to reckon with. Someone that personally I have had the privilege of knowing and also working with for a couple of years. Who am I talking about? Find out on this particular edition of In Your Vicinity with JEDI. Enjoy, and I'll be right back. I am back and I'm here again, another exciting episode, and it's going to be an interesting one. Your online favorite TV show, In Your Vicinity with JEDI. Now, my guest today, in his own vicinity, where I am seated, we go way back. The history is amazing. We go way back as far back as the university days. Lagos State University, one of the greatest in the world. I say it anywhere. He was also not just a student of that school, he was also the pastor of one of the leading fellowships in that school. It's called SOLF, Spring of Life Fellowship. And he's a man that I carefully watched that, look, beyond being a pastor position, he was always concerned on every individual's development. And that is why the kind of people that came out of that fellowship, they are doing successfully well all over the world as I speak to you. This one, I know. Don't worry, when I start talking to him, I will remind him of some encounters that we both had. But I'm highly honored to be interviewing today one who I will call a life coach, an influencer, a mind-blowing individual, a teacher, a speaker of the word, a believer in visions and in humans, and a man that has a heart for the youth, because they're the next generation. My people watching, ladies and gentlemen, please help me receive the one and only, should I call him pastor, minister, life coach, Sir Olakunle Soriyan, whom I personally call PK.
Good to see you here.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing awesome.
This
really
man,
awesome.
I'm honored sitting next to a man that has been on great platforms, spoken in different and well-established churches, spoken in summits, spoken to business entrepreneurs, spoken in different corporate, atmospheres. I'm this
honored,
small boy.
I'm honored to be here with JEDI. You know JEDI, right? I mean, we are not here because I'm happening. We are here because JEDI is happening. So.
Look at his outfit. It's even one of his fashion lines. Before we started before we even kicked this off, I told him, I said, no, I must have my own, so that I can represent when I'm hosting events. Just look at, I'm talking too much, I'm sorry. I'm just talking too much, but how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing really good, JEDI. How are you doing too?
I'm fine.
Awesome.
Thank you for being an exceptional individual. You know, the way the world celebrates people today is not the way I choose to.
I hear you.
I look for people who I have experienced and I know that their works have spoken for them. They have done things for people. And that is why I'm honored to have you here. We've seen a lot of Instagram live sessions you've had. You've inspired a lot of people, spoken to different people. People follow you. In fact, at a point, my cousin was working with him.
Correct.
Adedola, Adekolu John.
Yes.
She was working with him.
Correct.
We were together at my uncle's burial. He came in all the way from Lagos to Ilorin.
Yes.
So we go way back.
Yeah.
There was a day at, I think it was Winning Ways, or one of the programs there at the stadium, the gymnasium. I sat next to you and I said something. One of my low-time moments. I said, Pastor, I don't know what's going on. He said, JEDI, talk to me. What's going on? Because as at that time, God had blessed me a bit, built the name and the brand as far back as university days. Yes. I'm going somewhere with a question, but I want to hit one thing. And I told you, I said, Pastor, I can't understand how this is, but the way the atmosphere is around me, the way it's not balanced, I just feel like I'm a nuisance. I can never forget. And the next thing he did, he rebuked me. He said, never say you're a nuisance. Stop it. Don't ever say you're a nuisance. What do you mean by that? No, you are JEDI. You are not a nuisance. I can never forget. It changed my life. What is the secret behind your passion towards people?
Yeah, I mean, JD, first of all, again, I must thank you for creating this platform. I think that is the magic of this moment. So thank you for your strength and your consistency over the years, choosing to raise a platform like this and many more that you have done in many years before now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so for me, I believe in the possibilities of the human condition. And I believe that there is an intentionality that we must sustain to really be able to resist all that is coming from outside of us. The truth is, what is coming will come. It is who we are, how we see, how we hear, how we interpret, how we act that will make the difference.
Sir, say it again, sir. Ejo, say it again, sir.
That what is coming will come.
Yes.
There's little we can do about what is coming. You really can't control what is coming, as you cannot control birds from hovering over your head. What you can control is the birds perching on your head. So what is coming will come. It is who we are, how we see, how we hear, how we interpret, how we act that makes the difference. And that has to be something happening inside out as against outside in. And I have found enough clarity to understand that, society is flawed on many levels. And society has chosen what it will punish in the human journey. And when you don't get your liberation away from the prison of society, right? Society has its own punishment for you, regardless of your intentions, right? And so what drives me a lot of times is the idea that all of us are enslaved to something. Even if you say you are a servant of God, you are supposed to be a slave of righteousness. So I agree that slavery is not bad. Slave trade is bad. Just like guns are not evil, or shooting human beings who are innocent is evil. When you shoot antelopes or use it in war, it's not like it's an evil weapon. You are using it to its design. Armed robbers wear trainers. It doesn't mean everyone wearing trainers is an armed robber. So in the same way, slavery is necessary. I don't see how human beings can find their highest level of power without submitting to some form of mastery. And that defines who your master is and the slavery that you must accept. But my belief is that while slavery is a necessity of the human condition, true freedom is the ability to choose what enslaves you. When people choose what enslaves you, that is what is wrong. When you choose what enslaves you, that is power. So for me, for example, I have chosen to be a slave of wisdom, a slave of freedom. I don't ever want to be free from that control. But I have also decided that no human being will choose what will enslave me.
I'm enslaved.
And so when I see that people are enslaved by some philosophy or some wrong thinking, or some wrong understanding, or by some negative influence, what I want to do, is to be part of that, be part of the architecture of the freedom that that person must experience, and to do so with all the urgency that I know. I was in prison for so many years. You know my story.
I was almost getting there. That I'm sure there must be a particular story or a happening in your life that led you to that point where you were passionate about people.
I spent 12 years in the university studying a 4-year course. I was in LASU for 12 years. A lot of they don't. Can you hear? I was there for 12 years. I did 100 level 3 times, 200 level 3. I spent 12 years. At the end of 12 years, what you should have is a BSc, a master's, 2 master's degrees, and a PhD. At the end of 12 years. At the end of 12 years, I had a BSc, just a bachelor's degree, and it was a 4th class. So, and then I fought so many things. I fought drugs, I fought boys, I was in the cult. I really spent a lot of time on the left, and I was in the jail that I erected by myself before the ones that society added to it. So I was enslaved to my own thinking, point proving, quest to become, and trying to run a script that I really don't have the capacity to run, and nobody does, because on the left you will always lose. So I was on the left for about 26, 27 years of my life, boys, party, and all of that, before I began to go right. And on the right path, I found freedom. And I've made up my mind that for the rest of my life, I will not only defend my own freedom, I will do the best I can to protect that of others.
And you say you have issues. Look, you don't have issues. How can your issues be compared to this kind of historical? I love the way you've redefined what slavery means. Because in the society we live in, everybody has seen slavery, I mean, from the educational point of view, in another dimension, how slavery, should be defined. But the way you've reconstructed it, it has opened my eyes to something else, that you can actually be a slave to the things that will make you a better person.
Yes.
Like you said, you're a slave to wisdom.
Yes.
You're a slave to freedom.
Yes. Because
you cannot lose being a slave to wisdom.
Again, freedom without rules is a vice. Because the highest level of freedom is psychosis. When you are free and there's no rule, you must be naked on the streets walking away.
Yeah.
Those are really free people. I mean, they are free. There's no questioning of their understanding, right? So it's intentional. What is wrong in life is to allow others to give you the rules to drive your meaning with. It is not wrong for you to create your own rules and to surrender yourself to that rule. That is the slavery of the human condition that is necessary. I mean, the option to that is psychosis.
But the depth of this level of wisdom that you have, I don't think it's all platforms that are accommodated.
No.
Do you understand? Because
no.
I know.
There are places, first of all, I can't be invited. And I understand. I don't even try to be invited there. Then there are places that I go that, because of honor and respect, I have to pretty much texture my conversation to a level that I feel will not disrupt the environment. But there are also platforms that you go that unleash your difference, that unleash your authenticity. Those are the ones that really excite me, But I do agree, and it's okay. I mean, if everybody agrees with you, maybe you have no power in your communication. The more truth, destiny has friends and truth has adversaries. So when you focus on your destiny, a lot of people are going to come to dance around your destiny. Some to contribute, some to pull you down, some to do all kinds of things. The strength of life is the ability to define every actor in that community of your destiny and to be able to apportion their roles to them. So you need fools, you need enemies, you need the wise, you need the stupid, you need everybody. You can't define the awesomeness of God in a flawed world if you are not also going to accept that everyone lives within the community of God. Fools are there, murderers are there, sinners are there, good people are there, and God is the factor that is curating excellence within all that mix. If you are in His image, that is how we have to do. So when I look at people and I only see their kind of people around them, and you can't find diversity around them. People say, oh, I'm a Christian, I can't do business with Muslims. I say, what do you mean?
Exactly.
You have to create Christian rain and create Christian songs, and create a Christian barbing salon and Christian designers or something. How do you live with that?
I've once said something, sir. I don't know if I'm wrong. As a life coach and with a level of wisdom, on this camera, correct me if I'm wrong. There are people who have addressed me in the course of my career, oh, there's a gospel comedian. And I tell them, I'm not a gospel comedian. I am a comedian. As long as there is no gospel banker, there is no gospel lawyer, I am a comedian because it's a profession.
Yeah.
Now, how I go about it, I can understand how societal language wants to come in to say, okay, he is but I am.
First of all, is disrespect to you.
Hey.
It's complete disrespect to what you are, to all you represent. Complete disrespect. Number two is a communication of their own ignorance, which is forgivable. The problem is if you allow that to determine what you do, you disempower yourself and empower their own ignorance. And here they are not here, they are not even aware of what's going on. So empowering their ignorance is just multiplying nuisance, really. because they don't even have a goal in saying that. So what I say to people, and let me say this, JEDI, this is very important for all those who are listening. Because what you just said happens on within other spheres, not just in comedy. That people say there's gospel song. What do you mean by gospel song? What is a gospel song? What is not a gospel song? They're just songs, as far as I'm concerned. So that it is lifting or it's not lifting. Now, let me give you a scientific understanding of that, or let me say an intellectual understanding of that. The word secular, because every time we say gospel music, what we think we are saying is that this is a secular song, and this is not a secular song. That this guy is secular, or this one is not secular. And when we say that, what we mean is that there's no Jesus in that thing which we are doing. So once somebody is doing something that does not have Jesus in it, we conclude that the person is secular. And what he's doing is not gospel. Now, the way to begin, JEDI, is to say, what is the meaning of secular? And I'll do this in 5 minutes. Secular,
take your time, sir.
Secular, by English Dictionary. Go check it out. Go do the research. Google it. Secular is not where there is no Jesus. Secular is anywhere, anything, a thought, environment, an idea, anything. As long as religious ideas does not have social significance, that thing is secular. Once religious ideas in that place does not have social significance, then that environment is secular. Now, even if you are in church on Sunday and we are teaching in the name of Jesus, if the message we are saying does not have social significance, though we are in church, it's a secular message in the name of Jesus. What determines if something is secular or not is not the mention of the name of Jesus, but that the religious experience being discussed or being shared does not have social significance. So if I teach about Abraham for the next 2 years, or I talk about Holy Ghost for the next 2 years, and I will not connect it to global warming that people can receive, to climate change that people can receive, or I cannot make a social significance to what I am saying, though I am speaking in church on Sunday morning in the name of Jesus, what I am saying is secular. Why? Because the religious idea that I'm sharing does not have social significance. The more spiritual we become, the more relatable we have to become. When you become so spiritual and your spirituality rebuffs people or cannot connect to people and birth diversity, you are not spiritual, you are a spiritist. And there are a lot of spiritists in town wearing the garment of spirituality, and what they are doing is multiplying stress for God's people. The idea of faith should not compete with the human condition. It should complement it. When your faith begins to create complications and complexity and competition for the human condition, it is no longer faith. It is now torture that we have to endure. And that is why religion is being endured all over the world.
You know, PK, it's like you just gave a summary definition of who Jesus was.
That's it.
Because when he went into the synagogue, they were wondering, what kind of man is this? The same man was able to flog people in front of the synagogue.
Sat with tax collectors.
Sat
down in the party with prostitutes.
Yes.
Received perfume from a prostitute that came to bath his head and refused the person to be judged in the public domain. And it's typical of his father. It's typical of who God is. We are all God's children. There are armed robbers who are God's children. There are killers who are God's children. Don't make the distinction between, so if somebody gives out to 6 children and one of them is a fool, well, it's a foolish child, but it's still God's child. But that's a foolish child. Is it going to heaven or not? Symposium discussion. What we are saying is that in his present state, he has a God in his life, period.
PK, I'm sorry I have to speak Yoruba. Give me a little time to breathe this in. We'll go on a short break and we'll be right back. Welcome back. On a normal day, I'm sure those of you who are familiar with my shows, you'll be like, his body is scratching him to come back. At this time, I'm still trying to recover from where we were before we went on break. We're back. It's still the show in your vicinity with me, Olakunle Soriyan, seated here with a man I've known for so long, respected for so long, and honored. And the level of wisdom he has, I can't understand. See, You will jealous me, because I am enjoying a reign of wisdom. Sir, based on the fact that we've spoken from the angle of entertainment and artists, are there artists that you have consulted?
Oh yeah, there are quite a lot. I work with kings every day. You're a king. And kings are people who have a domain and who have influence beyond economics. So I've also learned how to dine with kings. The Bible says when you sit to dine with the king, put a knife to your throat if you are a person given to appetite, because the food before you is deceptive food. Because at every point in time, a king is judging your thinking and your actions. And so, I work with so many artists. I won't mention names.
It's okay if you want to mention names.
As part of the protocol of managing kings and their
privacy. Okay.
Yeah,
do you know why I said so?
Yes.
Because normally on this show, if you mention a name, we will declare it and speak it further. We're going to interview them. Even though I'm not saying I've met them or I know how to get there, I just speak it forth.
Yes.
We will interview you.
Yes.
And our viewers, all they need to do is go and tag them.
Yes.
JEDI must interview you.
Yes.
JEDI must intervio you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But go ahead,
Yeah.
sir.
So, I've worked with entertainers and artists across the globe. I just hosted a 10-time Grammy Award winner in Lagos, Nigeria. I hosted him in 2015, and then we went home again this last month because we are releasing an app called Big Bang, and we're supposed to change and disrupt the entire music space. So we brought him in to come and consult and to look at what we are doing. It's going to be a global app, Kevin Bond. I'm sure you know Kevin.
I saw the clips on your social media. Yes, a lot of people don't know Kevin Bond.
Around the world, we did so many things, but Kevin is an amazing person. You should actually interview Kevin, and I can make that happen.
It's done. I am going to interview a 10-time Grammy Award music producer and influencer, Kevin
36
Bond.
times Stellar Award winner. 36
Sir.
36 times Stellar Award winner, 10-time Grammy Award winner. A lot of the songs you know out there, whether it's Kirk Franklin or Yolanda Adams, a lot of the big people, you listen to the songs, but the engine behind the scene is people like Kevin Bond. And every time his songs win the Grammy, he wins it automatically. Every time his songs win the award, he wins it automatically. Yeah.
Kevin Bond, we're looking forward to meeting you. We're looking forward to speaking with you.
Yes.
And having a good time interacting with you.
Great.
I know you have a lot to share with your level of wisdom.
Awesome. Yeah, so I do work with them, and for me, my understanding from day one is the idea that value resides in everyone. And, people in the weight of their wisdom, in the strength of their character, or in the shallowness of their thinking, or the wretchedness of their soul, will interpret your value in different ways. It's bad enough that the world promises such disequilibrium and such challenges. It's an opportunity, therefore, if you have the opportunity to, it's a privilege, therefore, if you have the opportunity to speak into someone's life, or to make a contribution, to judge that person. If you come to me to show me this video and you tell me, oh, PK, look at the work I have done, look at all I have done, I will never tell you, oh, it's not good enough. Or even if I think it's not good enough, I have to find the words, first of all, to celebrate what you have done. Because where was I? Do you know how much effort? It's easy for you to sit in your room and say, oh, this is what I've been done this way. You should have bended that. You should have used this. So that's easy for you to do. You don't know how these guys have stretched to be able to produce what they have done. So I say to people, never confuse what is easy for you to do for what is easy at all. Some things are easy for you because you have the grace in many capacities, the way you were born, who mentored you, or the neighborhood you were born into, or the school you went to, or because of the privilege of your faith, or some reason, some things are easy for you. It doesn't mean those things are easy, but they are easy for you. But if care is not taken, you will so embrace your ease in that thing that you will expect everybody to be able to perform at the level of that ease. And meanwhile, they don't know how what it takes. So you'll be shouting on them in the office. They cannot be you. They can't do what you have to do. They can't do what you can do. You are confusing what is easy for you to do for what is easy. Because it is easy for you to do does not make it easy at all. It's a big deal. It's a big thing for people to do, but it's easy for you. It is now being insensitive to now expect everyone to lean into that. So what is happening is you are judging them by the peculiarity of your own experience. And a lot of times that's unfair. Leaders fail there. A lot of bosses struggle with that because it's easy for us to stay in the magic that God has given to us and the ease that we experience because of the uniqueness of our grace, and then judge everybody else by that standard. You know.
Level of wisdom. He has just spoken to you that maybe you've just started a business, you have a firm, or you have anything you're doing, but you have an employee structure. This is the hot message line that you need. The good thing is, before we kicked off this interview, he was talking with someone, and he didn't know I was listening. And the simple question he asked is, how are the youths? How are the youths? And I was wondering where he was going to until he hit the nail on the head. You see, the world has suffered a serious pandemic throughout the year 2020. And that pandemic changed a lot of things. That pandemic, that same COVID-19, coronavirus, that virus is something we can't see. It's so minute, we can't see it, yet it has killed people. It's so minute, we can't see it. We can't even use bullets to fight it. So it's beyond the world power kind of function. Every country was brought to their knees and everything changed. With the pandemic, walls of businesses were shut.
Correct.
Walls of churches were shut. Walls of schools were shut. It was then people realized that, oh, it is not just about the building anymore. Because I heard of some establishments that were telling their staff they don't need to come to the office again. They can work from home. Now, a whole lot of churches are trying to recover from bringing people back into the auditorium because everything has become virtual. Zoom stocks has gone up. Netflix gone up. Microsoft Team View or whatever gone up. You were trying to pass a message when you were talking. Can you help me elaborate more on it? I just have to quickly lay a foundation so that people can see where your answer will be going to.
So, you know, that's an awesome question. Truth is, the world has changed, and it has changed without our permission. The problem now is that we are not sitting down to really ask ourselves about the contents of that change. And so we are waiting for discomfort, inconvenience, pain, and loss to tell us how change has occurred. Because it's one thing for change to occur. It's another thing to know how the change occurred or how it is occurring. And so the change that is ongoing must be understood. Number one is the weight of freedom that it has given young people, the elasticity it has given young people. For example, within the church wall, you know, we, for many years, told the whole world, told ourselves and told young people that we should not forsake the assembly of the saints.
Brethren, the saints.
Yes, meaning that people have to come together on one spot. And we told, you know, for generations and for years, we told everybody that's the way to do. Then a pandemic happened, and it was clear people cannot come to church, but we need people to participate in church. So we began to undo that by telling young people that even if you're online, still don't forsake the assembly of the saints. The gathering doesn't have to be physical. The gathering doesn't have to be physical. And then we said that all through the pandemic because we need young people participating. Now, the pandemic the lockdown is over. Now, people have now learned that the gathering of the saints transcends the limits of geography.
Yes.
That too, they can now be anywhere and still congregate, even if it is virtual, even if it is online.
Yes.
So to now get young people back into the churches now Are we going to now say again that it is a suboptimal experience or it's not enough until you come physically? So young people pretty much celebrate hybrids because regulation doesn't work for Gen Z especially. So when you get so conservative and you refuse to understand the construct of Generation Z and the pass that the pandemic has given to them to begin to culture their own freedom and begin to understand it in a way that unlocks their own energy, then you're going to lose them. So we need that humility to understand that we're in the borderless world now.
Yes.
And because of that, we have transcended the limits of geography. We have transcended the limits of movement. There's now the movement of ideas. And an internet and a phone and a computer in your hand can move you around the world.
Yes.
Beyond the limits of a visa.
Yes. Yes.
So whatever you are trying to do right now, you want to ask yourself, what is the role of technology in it? I kid you not, JEDI, any idea that anyone has, as long as tech is not deposited in it in one way or the other, that idea is jogging hard to fade into irrelevance.
Hey!
If there's going to be future for any idea, deliberately, you must look for how that idea will relate with technology. Because we are going into what I call a technocracy, where all ideas will be governed by technology and managed by technologists. So if you're going to be a leader of ideas, you're not going to be you're not going to be a programmer or become a developer.
Yes.
But there's a minimum understanding of tech you must have to provide leadership for the techies. It's just the way the world is going, and the earlier we align, the better. So when we learn to quickly disrupt ourselves now to begin to seek this alignment, we do better. And I always say that the next 10 years and the next 30 years will be defined by some basic things. Number one is the fading of powers as we know it, the emergence of powers and voices as we are yet to know, the rise of underdogs, the rise of the church. You will see the amplification of the growth of the human experience within those four lines, right? And the better we align with that, the better it is for us. And there are questions to ask, to be able to create your change now. Questions like, where is your new value? If you're a business person, where is your new money? There's new money available. There's new followership. There's new attention. Where is your new money? Who is holding it? When I say who, I don't mean one person. I mean what demography? And, are they young people? Are they old? Are they, how do you reach them? How do you reach them? Do they sleep? Do they eat? How do you reach them? If you reach them, what do you say to them? What's your narrative? What's your story? What are you selling to them? What's your pitch? And if you know what to say, how do you say it? Do you need digital marketing? Do you need a podcast? Do you need a video like this? How do you say it? So where is the money? Who is holding it? How do you reach him? If you reach him, what do you say? If you know what to say, how do you say it? I think every time we answer those questions, we create newness. We create a new market or a new followership or new money or something. And I think that we should ask ourselves those questions every 90 days. Every 90 days we should ask.
Time is not a friend of ours.
Unfortunately.
Oh, God. This is not an interview of just, we can have fun, but you can't have an opportunity to wisdom and play with it, which is what PK has poured out. Just before you leave, sir, two questions. Do you ever have time to relax? You have a leisure time where you don't carry so much of, I want to teach, I want to handle this business, I want to do this. Well, I have to. But do you have that, your leisure?
Yes.
Like you're you're having fun, you're groovy?
Yes. When I'm sleeping. I love sleeping. And people don't believe that. I like good food. I'm vegan. And so my eating is intentional. I watch soccer. You know, I love watching soccer. I play it. I like playing
No, you look
soccer.
fit for soccer.
I like playing soccer, and that's why I love watching soccer. And my favorite team is the Super Eagles. You know, even if they beat us 500-0, that's my team. I can't change that.
So finally, before we go, there was something I ran into on LinkedIn, and I believe PK can help us use that to close this wonderful episode, because I want people to understand the level at which God has exposed knowledge to us, that we see them every day and we don't know. He has exposed us to a level of knowledge and we don't even know. We keep playing with it. You remember when you were able to describe the sun, the moon, and the creations of God as products?
Yes.
Could you please quickly do that to help us round up?
Yeah, particularly now in the post-pandemic that we are discussing. You know, you don't have a choice now. Local at best is the beginning of your expression. Global is your destiny. And you have to accept that. You can't choose not to be global anymore. It's what the world has forced us into. And when you begin to understand that, because people say they want to be like God. You know, when I hear that, I appreciate it, but I laugh at times. Because what part of God do you want to be like? They say they want to be kind, they want to be gentle, they want to be humble, they want to manifest the fruit of the Spirit, which is fantastic. But the fruit of the Spirit captures the character of God. It doesn't capture all that God is.
Yes.
For example, God is global. His products are global. His moon is not seen by Lagosians alone or by the guys in Dallas alone. His moon is seen all over the world. All over the world. In every country, there is a night and a day. Those are his products. His moon is seen there. His sun is seen there. His wind is all over. His oxygen keeps all of us going. His products are, you know, and that is what people like, you know, Steve Jobs understand. Microsoft. What they are trying to do is to install their agenda as a virus in the human experience, where, whether you like it or not, as you try to live, love, play, work, every time you try to do that, you try to do them. So you can't do without a compelling product. You know, you can't do without social media today. You can't do without the internet.
Yes.
You can't do without the wind. You can't do without oxygen. If you refuse to embrace the internet, you will almost be punished like you refuse to live with blood. You know. So I think entrepreneurs need to begin to think about that kind of visioning. Because at that level, you can't be comforted by economics. That is why you see people like Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos, even at billions of dollars, Elon Musk, they are still working, creating more value. Because what is driving them is not the dollars and the cents. It's not the economics of their engagement. What drives them is the idea that they want to rent a space in the head of people and govern their thinking and their behavior from there. And that is huge. That is practically thinking like God.
Yes.
And so I want to challenge everyone out there, you know, accept such responsibility. I think it is the duty of the human spirit to accept responsibility for big projects, and to believe that the universe is designed to send resources to those kind of beliefs. That is why the most powerful people in the world are the most audacious as well. I call it adventure capital. The idea that if I dream and I believe and I'm willing to surrender my entire spirit, soul, and body to the discipline that is required for me to elevate to the place I'm designed for, whether I like it or not, value will find me. And so the counsel is stop pursuing your dreams. Stop running around. Hustle is not a testimony. You need to calm down. You don't pursue dreams, you position for your dreams. Your dreams are designed to look for you and gravitate towards you. And I tell people, the Bible did not say goodness and mercy shall be before you to be pursued all the days of your life. It said goodness and mercy shall follow you, not for a while, all the days of your life. The problem is you are not positioned. You are looking for what is looking for you. Goodness and mercy is looking for you, but you're also looking for goodness and mercy. You never meet. You just will never meet. So for you to meet, stop looking for it. Position for it. When you position, goodness and mercy will find you where you are. And that is my counsel. Positioning is key, and destiny is location sensitive. The Bible says he has determined our appointed times and the boundaries of our habitation. If perhaps we grope for him, for in him we live, we move, we have our being. So he has determined your appointed times and the boundaries of your habitation. So destiny is location sensitive. And so key into that and lean into that, and you'll be better.
PK, you are very lucky I don't carry cash. I would have sprayed you now. Hear these words from a well of wisdom. And that's the essence behind the show. In your vicinity with JEDI, I have opportunity to meet with people who I know have done great things and can be a blessing to you by you gaining knowledge, by you being inspired, by you being impacted to be better than who you think you are. Remember, never think it is easy because it was easy for you. Never. Yes, it was easy for you doesn't mean it is easy for other people. Thank you, PK, for being a blessing. Oh, by the way, before we go, happy birthday, sir.
Thank you. 10 years.
PK just turned 50. This good-looking, handsome man just turned 50. Oh, Father Lord Grace.
Amen.
Grace. Good-looking man, 50. So all I need for you guys to do is get on his social media page and celebrate him. That's all I'm asking. Please, help me celebrate this man on his 50th celebration. As at the time I met him, I didn't even know it was good. What I mean is, elder is elder. Like, elder, yeah, elder. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's always a blessing to have you guys watch us. It's still your boy, Oluwatosin JEDI Ayo, and I know that I'll be seeing you again on another exciting episode of In Your Vicinity with JEDI. Have a good one. Oh God! Hear words like Look, I challenge you. If this show is not changing things in your life, don't watch again. How can you be receiving such kind of information, knowledge, and you will not tell me that your life will not change? It's not possible. It has to change. Wow! Thank you so much, sir. I call him a pastor, he's a speaker, he's a life coach, he's an inspiration. The one and only Olakunle Soriyan. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And happy 50th birthday. Golden Jubilee to you. Thank you, sir. I celebrate you with all my heart. I'm just super excited because that was so much package that can change one's life forever. So thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Woo! This was an amazing trip to Dallas, Texas. Where next am I going? Find out on the next episode. It's the show In Your Vicinity with JEDI. Remember to subscribe, click on the notification button, and share. And on the next episode, you'll find out where we went to.